Sacred Wild. Today is June 29th, 2025, and we are walking into expressing our reflections of the freedom way of being. And I love this portal that we're in because this is the completion or the transition from the initiatory path of intention, walking with purpose, and going into, as we go into the liberated way of being, next gathering is the beginning of the initiation of creation, walking in purpose. And the holiday that falls in between here in the United States is 4th of July, Independence Day. And independence, even just listening to that word, right? Let's throw out all of the assumptions we have of what independence is, because for me, before, when I used to think independence, it was standing on my own, like not having to do with anybody else, independence. But listen to the word independence. What if we reframe this word to being independence with the earth? Independence, not of, but with each other human being, each other being that walks this earth. The moons, the birds, the plants, the waters. And what if it is reciprocal and not just us humans being independence with those beings, but those beings independence with us, depending on us as much as we depend on them. This transition between walking with purpose side by side, or walking with purpose in our actions and our words and our energy, that the prepared way of being, safety way of being, and freedom way of being has taught us. We now walk in purpose. We are in the embodiment of our purpose as we walk through the next 3 ways of being: the liberated way of being, beauty way of being, and unity way of being. And so today's practice, today's gathering, is us gathering in community to practice together. In the Sacred Wild, we have 6 core practices that we harness as we learn to embody these ways of being and translate them from a practice to a way of being. We go from this unconscious unawareness, not knowing that we don't know, and walk into this conscious unawareness, being very aware that we are not aware. And then we go into this conscious awareness, practicing being aware, bringing that to conscious awareness, creating the practices to maintain this awareness. And eventually it translates into unconscious awareness, where we don't have to practice anymore. We no longer have to try. It simply is how we be. And so these 6 core practices are implemented into this gathering. They are the structure, the pillars, the framework of this gathering. And we start with movement, embodying our medicine. And I will be playing 2 songs from our Freedom Way of Being playlist And we will allow ourselves to move and be moved by the energy of freedom, opening up the stuck places, breaking apart that stuck energy and letting it flow freely, maybe for the first time in our entire lives. After that, we step into our prayer practice, talking with the infinite, speaking to the infinite, speaking with the infinite, opening the portal of communication. And we will express that in words. I will open a channel and allow the prayer to come through. I will leave space at the end for you to offer your own prayer, whether out loud or within. The energy expresses all the same. After that, we move into our third core practice, which is meditation, being with the infinite. We have moved this energy. We have brought ourselves to this present moment. We have opened the channels of communication with the infinite. So now let's just be with that for a moment. Let's settle into what that feels like. And we will have a 10-minute meditation. I will bring us back when that time is complete so you can let yourself flow freely. After that, we flow into our last three core practices melded together, and that is contemplation, listening to the infinite. That is expression, our message, our medicine. And that is witnessing, allowing ourselves to be seen, embodying and expressing our medicine, our message, and allowing ourselves to see others, receive others as they embody and express their medicine. With this being the expressing our reflections part of our journey with the freedom way of being, I usually have a channel come through and then open it up to a round table, but this, we just let the round table exist. It is me, myself, and I today. And so I will just share what my reflections are now with the freedom way of being. And so we begin our gathering with movement. And we have two songs that I will be playing. One is I Wish I Knew How It Would Be to Be Free by Simone. And allow yourself to sink into the words because it starts off, I wish I knew how, and it ends, I know how. And I feel like that's such a beautiful representation of this journey on this part of the path with the freedom way of being. It's a beautiful representation of how it is as we walk into each of the ways of being, as we walk through each of the initiatory portals, as we walk through the sacred wild path year after year, season after season. We start off saying, I wish I knew how. We end with saying, I know how. I've already known how. I have always known how. The next song is a song that was shared with me. It's called Everybody's Free by Citadel. And this is what the earth, what Mother Nature, Father Sky, grandmother and grandfather medicines are always reminding us, are always reflecting to us. Everybody is free. Everybody. It can be really hard to see it sometimes and feel it, but it is. It is. Everybody's free. So allow yourself to move and be moved by the energy of freedom, of what it is to be free. In whatever way feels right, there is no wrong way to do this here. Stillness is movement as well. I will see you on the other side, my dear friends.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say them loud, say them clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that every man should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I can do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting anew. Well, I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if by my heart I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know, yeah. Not sing, 'cause I know, yeah. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be free. Yeah, yeah, I know how it feels. Yes, I know how it feels, how it feels to be free. Lord, Lord, Lord.
Brother and sister together, we'll make it through. Someday your spirit will lift you and take you there. I know you've been hurting, but I've been waiting to be there for you. And I'll be there just helping you out whenever I can. 'Cause everybody's free to feel good. 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 We are a family that should stand as one, helping each other instead of just wasting time. Now is the moment to reach out to someone. It's up to you. When everyone's sharing their hope, then love will run through. 'Cause everybody's free to feel good. Everybody's free to feel good. Oh, everybody's free to feel good. Oh, everybody's free.
We bring ourselves back to this space, this sanctuary, this space of safety and freedom. We come into prayer, opening this channel of energy between us and the infinite, speaking the words that are meant to be expressed, released, let go, knowing that not just the crunchy and the sticky and the uncomfortable things that are meant to be let go, but it's also the beautiful things, the things that light us up and keep us alive that are meant to be let go, just like our breath. We don't hold our breath to live. We take it in and we let it go. We take it in and we let it go, trusting that there will be another breath that comes, that there will be enough air that finds its way to us. We love in a way that allows air to be free, free to come and go as it pleases, knowing that it is always there, even when our lungs are empty. Can we love ourselves this way? In a way that is free, without conditions of us having to be there, having to do all the things, having to be a certain way? Can we love ourselves when we too are empty? Can we lean into faith and trust? Can we hold space for ourselves? Can we choose ourselves? Can we embrace and accept ourselves when we are not who we want to be? Can we love others that way? In such a way that they are free? In which my love for you is not conditional on how you show up for me, on if you do the things that I want you to do. Can my love be that free, unrestrained, unrestricted, to where I get to see you as sacred always and in always? This freedom, when we haven't lived with this freedom, can sometimes feel like abandonment. You want to let me go because you don't care, because you don't want me. It is not the truth. It is actually quite the opposite. I let you go because I love you. That is love. Letting go is not pushing away. No, letting go is not pushing away. It's allowing. Allowing. It's like receiving is not holding. Receiving doesn't mean I hold on, it is also allowing. These are all just different words for allowing. God, teach us to allow. God, teach us to allow, just like the trees allow. Allow who they naturally be to create oxygen for us, just like the sun and the earth allows coming together to create the ozone layer, allowing us to be warmth, not so much to where we die, and not so little to where we die, but just enough to where we thrive. God, teach us to allow as the earth does with wildfires and hurricanes, knowing that that too serves when we allow it, burning away, washing away everything that is not meant to be, everything that is weighing us down, preventing us from thriving. God, infinite spirit, universe, teach us to allow. We've been holding on for so long, holding on to the cage, the bars, holding on to the fears, holding on to the separation, to the belief that we don't deserve love. We've been holding on for so long to the anger. Let us let it go. Let us be free. Let us let it be free. Let it flow freely. Teach us how to learn. Teach us how to learn. Teach us how to look into each other's eyes and see. Teach us how to be free and what that looks like, what that means for us to be who we be, whether we are at work, at home, at a festival, at a ceremony. Let the hats that we wear be just hats, not our identity, not who we are. Teach us to be free, to change, to grow, to die, to be born over and over and over again. God, teach us what it is to be free. Free to expand our perception with every person we meet, with every conversation we have, with every breath we take. Teach us to be free, unrestrained, unrestricted, untethered. Teach us that freedom doesn't look one way. Teach us that freedom doesn't look one way. teach us to free our mind of a definition of freedom. That freedom is having no definition at all and having all the definitions we desire. God, show us that we are all free. Show us that we are all free. You'll leave this space for you to offer your own prayer, either internally, externally. The energy is shared all the same. For this life, for this love, and for so much more, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we go into our next practice of meditation, allowing ourselves to be with this essence, this energy, in just the way that feels alive and aligned for us. There is no wrong way of being with spirit. It will bring us back in 10 minutes, my dear souls. As you continue to breathe, taking in the essence of freedom, of spirit, you begin to feel it penetrating and shifting and flowing through your body, allowing you to feel your body. You can begin feeling your toes, wiggling them a little bit. Maybe your fingers as you move them a little bit. Feel your hands and your feet, maybe moving them at your ankles and wrists. Feel your arms and your legs. Feel your torso. Feel your head as you rock it back and forth gently. Your face. Maybe you bring your lips into a smile. And in your own divine timing and at your own authentic pace, feel free to open your eyes and come back to this sacred space. Freedom. Oh man, this journey through freedom has been a big teacher, an intense teacher. You know, the really neat thing about freedom is that freedom, when we allow ourselves to be free, is the foundation for discernment. And I think this is why freedom is right before the liberated way of being. I say I think because this was all just given to me. It wasn't something that I developed by my guides. You know, freedom allows us to experience what is aligned and what isn't aligned. It gives us the freedom to experience all of it because we are free, right? There are no cages or restrictions. So we're free. And I think that once our boundaries become cages, that it's necessary to experience that freedom so we can realign again and create boundaries that are supportive altar for safety and freedom, to feel sacred, secure, safe, and free. And for me, I speak for me, during my beginning phases of this exploration and journey through the sacred wild path without really having words for it yet. But it was just that, like, I had felt caged. I had felt trapped and stuck. And so it was this breaking away and breaking apart and all of this. And I had this idea that once I was free, everything would be perfect. That is what I wanted, right? I wanted to be free. Free from the shackles, free from the restraint, free from not being myself and from the man. And it's really funny because funny now. At the time, it was not. It was, oh, it was so much. But it's really funny now because I still live a very similar life to what I lived before I was free. But now it is a life I have consciously chosen. And now what used to be cages and shackles, like a 9 to 5 job, or all of the bills that I have to pay, or being a parent, or holding a role of responsibility and authority at the office. All of these things used to feel like they were what made up my cage. They were what I was breaking free from. From leaving my 9 to 5 job that I had been at for 15 years to spending less and less time with my children, to the contemplation and possibility of just leaving the house and everything behind and going to live out in the woods. And it was in that experience of freedom that I was finally able to feel what felt good and what didn't. And we'll go more into that as we step into the liberated way of being, of what comes after that. But right now, I just really want to sit in this space of being able to feel and experience and be aware of all of it. Freedom, this picture that I used to get in my head of freedom being, riding in a convertible with the wind blowing in the hair and the hands up and all of that. That picture that gets painted by society, by marketing and advertising teams, by all of it. They create these visions to activate that desire for freedom within us. And it's very easy to do. And it is a very, very powerful tool to convince people to buy a certain product or to get curious about the service. Or it's powerful because we don't believe ourselves to be free. It is something that we desire and we don't know how to get it. And these, ads and commercials and billboards are telling us that they know how. Just do this, you will feel that feeling that is painted with that picture. I do it. The pictures that I post in the Sacred Wild or in social media, but I don't post those pictures. I don't curate those pictures from a false perspective. It's not staged. It is me expressing my life. That is genuinely how I live. I'm not painting a picture for you. I am sharing my life with you. But we often think that it's those things that give us the freedom. That if we get that convertible, if we get that relationship, if we get that money, if we get, then we'll be free. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe if it's we leave that relationship and we leave that job and we push away, let go of all of these things that we don't, that feel like they just weigh us down, then maybe then we'll be free. But then we end up in this cycle, right, of getting and letting go and getting and letting go, and it just ends up being this funnel. I realized that with I looked over there because that's where my closet is. I realized that with my coats. And that's like every 6 months I would be getting rid of like bags full of clothes. How the hell, if I am continuously getting rid of these bags of clothes, how do I still continue to have bags of clothes to get rid of? Because it's this constant of, oh, I want this, and then it's, no, I don't want this, and I want this, and I don't want this, and I want this, and then it's like I have too much stuff, so I'm gonna get rid of this, and then it's just this continuous flowing, this filter, in and out and in and out, trying to what? Trying to get something, trying to experience something, trying to look from the outside, these clothing, these pieces of clothing to give me something that only I can give to myself, and that is my freedom. And the clothes, there's all sorts of other things, that's a whole other session. But it's with anything. If I get this money, then I'll be free. If I leave this relationship, then I'll be free. And maybe that is part of that freedom. I'm not saying that it's not. But what I'm inviting is to, before you try to manipulate the outside world to create freedom for yourself, to first do what we did on this path. What is freedom to you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What does your environment look like when you are free? What does your mind look like when you are free? What beliefs do you have when you are free? Who do you believe yourself to be? What identities do you hold when you are free? What thoughts go through your mind? What stories do you weave when you are free, as opposed to right now? Work on that. And then once you have worked on that, then align your actions, your words, and your energy with that. Because oftentimes we're like, I want to be free. So we think back to when we were younger. And we get this vision in our mind of an experience that we had when we were younger that made us feel so free. It was such a embodied free experience. And then we try to recreate that. But I will tell you that what I experienced as freedom when I was 20 would not make me feel free at 40. Fucking A, man. Like, freedom just in the last few weeks since we started walking through the freedom way of being until now, freedom looks different. So before you go out and start making intense changes, trying to experience freedom, trying to create that experience in your life, in your being, let's sit with what freedom actually looks like and feels like, and what can create that. For me now, my 9-to-5 job is part of my freedom. From the freedom I have with my schedule to do as I please, when I please, to the money that I receive, allowing me to experience things more freely in my outside life, outside of work. My children are part of my freedom. Freedom to love in deeper ways, freedom to learn new things, freedom to laugh and play. I was just up late last night playing with some of the girls that my daughter had over. We were playing games and we did some fire dancing and made some s'mores and laughed and did some line dancing, and they're a source of freedom now. They're not a cage. Though I don't have a romantic partner, the relationships I do have are not a cage. And to be very honest, there are not many, if any, relationships that I have now that I had when I was learning what freedom was for me in the beginning, consciously, intentionally. I don't have the same job. And so there were shifts that definitely needed to be made to allow me to have a life that aligned in freedom in just the way I know it. And it's still continuing to be refined and realigned. It's a practice that will never end. I hope not. Because every day I expand. Every day freedom looks different for me. That's not because I was lying before, and that's because I'm not the same person I was yesterday. Different wants, different desires. Opening myself more and more, letting go of the own restrictions that I put on myself. And sometimes the things that I have shifted to be able to access and embody freedom in the past are now things that I have to let go of to be able to access and embody freedom now. Good. Good. That is perfect. That is beautiful. And it was irritating as fuck for a long time and still is sometimes. Because, God, let me tell you, when you live a free life, shit changes all the time. That saying, the only constant is change, is fucking true. And it shines a light on the attachments that I have, that I create, on the holding that I do, wanting to keep something or wanting to keep something or someone to be the same. As it's been. But freedom is not clinging or holding. Freedom is also not resisting. It's saying, I don't know how to do this, or I don't have time for this, or all of the little phrases and sayings that we have to resist, but justify the resistance. Freedom is allowing. Yeah. Not just allowing me to be me, but allowing everybody else to be them. Because why would you want it to be any other way? For me, I used to think that I knew what needed to happen or who was supposed to be in my life, because I'm God, not in me, everybody is God, yes, but I thought I was not just God, but I thought I was the controller of everybody and everything, not the creator. And creator and controller are two different things. And so I used to shift myself, change myself, or manipulate others into staying in my life or leaving my life or whatever. And then the people that I would keep in my life, gosh, things just got really hard. Because there's always this constant need to change or manipulate. Change myself or manipulate them. And it's really exhausting, let me tell you, being the controller of everything and everyone. But once we allow, we let go and receive freely, openly. There's no more trying. There's no more having to walk on eggshells. No more needing to manipulate anything. There's no more having to be something that I'm not, but I think they want me to be. And I get to breathe a little easier. That fear gets to go away. There's no more hiding. When I am free with my words and my expression of sharing who I am, I don't have to hide anymore. Hide any part of myself from me or anybody else. Because exactly who I am is who's meant to be here, just like exactly who you are is who's meant to be here, just like exactly what the tree is what's meant to be here. The tree doesn't try to be a bush, or, as that example, the tree doesn't try to be a bird or a rock or a human. The tree is just the tree. Not only is it beautiful, but it's necessary. We need it to live. We need it to thrive. Each and every one of us is the same. We are needed to live. We are needed to thrive, but not the us that we think we should be, not the us that we're trying to make ourselves and contort ourselves into, but the us that's easy for us to be. I'm not saying the us that we're used to being, because some of us are used to being somebody else. And though we may name that as easy, it's not. Not when we really sit down and allow ourselves to look at all of the work and all of the energy it goes into trying to be somebody else, live up to somebody else's expectations, do what somebody else wants us to do. And it's not even what somebody else wants us to do, it's what we think somebody else wants us to do. I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Yeah, brain twister then. But what happens when we take all that confusion away? Just say, I am who I am. Who is that? That's what the freedom way of being gives us. The permission to explore. And maybe some of the things that we do or words that we say don't feel good. That's our cue to let them go. Maybe there's some things that we're not doing, some words we're not saying that do feel good. Do them. It is as simple and easy as that. We are the ones that make it complicated. And we are free to do so. Sacred Wild, thank you for joining me today. Whatever day this is that you have chosen to sit with me here. I am excited to start our journey into the liberated way of being. We're free. Now, what do we choose to do? Who do we choose to be? We get to take our choice back. We get to choose the life we live instead of being stuck in the life that we've been handed. So much love. We will end this in a sacred wild way. a howl on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ow! So much love, my friends.